Hey, King Kaiju here. Well, there was little hope for Daredevil Born Again based on the comments that Charlie Cox had made about the direction that the show was going in. It wasn't going to be a season 4, it was going to be a season 1. And of course, the utter decimation of the character from She-Hulk. Well, a rumor has surfaced about the possible writers for this show, and somehow it got worse. Alright, so a rumored list of writers comes from the Cosmic Circus and claims that David Feige, Thomas Wong, Jill Blankenship, Zachary Ryder, Grain, I don't know, given up, Godfrey, Devin Klager, and Asia Porter Christie are all part of the show's writer room, which is being helmed by showrunners Chris Ord and Matt Corman. And you might not be familiar with the names, but there are some massive red flags. And before we take a look at some of these writers and the red flags, there's another big red flag, and we've been seeing this quite a lot. And look at that list. Like, how many people do you need to write this? Now, there is definitely an argument that says, look, we just don't have the talent anymore to where one individual can write something great. Or we also have the argument that, hey, we can have a great writer. However, with 2 or 3 additional inputs, it becomes an even better. But at what point do you hit too many cooks in the kitchen? Kind of based on what we've seen, that number's right around 4. Even the greatest TV show ever made, Breaking Bad. You know, Vince Gilligan started out on his own and then got in a writer room with 2 other people, then 3. And that's kind of where it topped out. Even on Better Call Saul, topped out at 5. That seems to be the golden number if you're going to do big collaboration. However, this show, with the showrunners, brings it to 9. I mean, there is a soccer team of people all writing the same show. And I understand it's 23 episodes, and maybe, you know, they're going to break it up, but it's still just too many, because ultimately, especially in a connected narrative show, you cannot write in a bubble. So they are all going to have to interact one way or the other, confirm things they're writing and ideas they have because it might affect somebody later, etc., etc. It's too much. It's too many. There's no guiding voice. There's no clear direction. Even the showrunners are only 2. So they got 7 other voices yakking in their brains. It's way too much. And that, to me, is the biggest red flag of them all. So let's take a look at these red flags. It states that maybe the biggest red flag is Jill Blankenship, who was most recently the showrunner and executive producer on the CW's Naomi. Her role as a writer on Daredevil Born Again also appears to be confirmed, as is listed on her profile on the Writers Guild of America West's website. For those of you who are not familiar, and trust me, I wasn't, I had to look it up. CW's Naomi is one of those Mary Sue girl boss shows based on a Brian Michael Bendis comic book, which that alone should be reason to hate it. But yeah, she pushes the old agenda and the message really hard, so that she is definitely a red flag. Said another red flag is Thomas Wong, whose writing expertise on the Writers Guild of America West website includes race, ethnic issues, and sexuality, gender. But it also includes legal system court procedures. Now, real quick, that writing expertise is kind of a resume, right? So you would definitely write, I wrote legal system courtroom procedures. I wrote comedy. I wrote outdoor adventure. I wrote high school drama, whatever. Like, these are types of shows, types of writing. Race, ethnic issues, and sexuality, gender are not types of writings. Or more accurately, they shouldn't be. They definitely are today, and they definitely don't make any money. But to put that on there is definitely a red flag, because you feel it is that important to push a message in the agenda. You put it on your damn resume. The remainder of the red flags the article brings up are all the political bent of the writers, which it's not worth getting into here. Politics leads to nothing but idiocy. But I did have a quote referenced that I had not seen before. And basically, Charlie Cox himself, when talking about the abomination that is She-Hulk's, had this to say: he attempted to justify the desecration of his character in the abomination that is She-Hulk by saying, if you read the comics, there are a series of Daredevil comics where the tone is much lighter and he is much more kind of silly and goofy than perhaps we've done much of previously with this character. Well, Charlie, I'll say this, you are right. those comic books were written. They do exist, and they didn't sell very well, and with good reason. You have a character that is very much grounded in not only reality, but in a New York City, dark, gritty, and having an edge to him helps make him interesting, helps define the character, and has been the best-selling book out there. On to the topic at hand. The two writers alone are enough to sink this thing from the get-go. The other writers, as I said, they got into their politics. No doubt they'll be pushing their political agendas, which is also disastrous. Everything that we're reading, hearing, rumored, confirmed about Daredevil Born Again means that it is just going to be utter disaster. And in a very interesting way, because unlike the abomination that is She-Hulk or Velma or a lot of this other crap that's being put out, what Disney's failing to understand is it is potentially going to be so much worse because there is a very, very good product to compare it to. That's the ultimate. Like, if Disney wanted to make money, if they cared about something besides pushing the message, they would have been like, wow, the first 3 seasons on Netflix are utterly revered and even pretty well watched. So how about, I don't know, we hire the writers from that show, or as many as we can, and we pick up right where they left off and build and build and build. No, we wouldn't want to do that. No, we don't like success. We want to push our message. The show, of course, is probably going to be problematic. The real issue is just how bad is it going to get. I'm curious what you think, so let's talk about it. Obey your king. Subscribe to the channel and click the notification icon.